Hello friends! There are many people in the world who have done very strange things. Some people eat only one type of food for their entire lives. Some people never get out of their house. There was even a person who lived without a shadow for 67 years. You're probably thinking, how is it even possible? How can a person live without a shadow? This person actually had no shadow from birth. Can you imagine this? In this video, we will tell you the story of this incredible man who defied nature and lived his whole life without a shadow. The man's name was Santiago Muniz Padron. He was born on January 18, 1924. When he was born, something strange was immediately noticed. The baby's shadow was darker than the shadows of other babies. His shadow was big and covered his entire body. And that's when the doctors realized that Santiago was born without a shadow. At first, the doctors thought that everything would be fine and that the boy would catch up developmentally. But as he grew older, it became clear that he wasn't like other children. By the time he was 6 years old, he was already half a meter shorter than the other kids. His arms and legs were disproportionately small, and his head was much larger than normal. But despite all these problems, Santiago was a happy child. He didn't let his illness get him down. As Santiago grew older, his condition worsened. At some point, he stopped growing altogether. At 13, he was barely 1.5 meters tall, and by the age of 30, he was still only 1.62 meters. But what's most surprising is that even at such a young age, Santiago was already completely bald. And not just partially bald, but completely hairless. Despite all the mockery and ridicule, Santiago was a cheerful man. He was a very religious person and believed that God had created him for a purpose. He spent his whole life helping others and never complained about his illness. Unfortunately, this amazing man passed away on May 19, 1991. He was 67 years old. Scientists still don't know exactly why this man didn't have a shadow. One theory is that he was born without pigment in his skin, hair and eyes. But this isn't true, because Santiago had brown eyes. Another theory is that he had a rare genetic mutation that made him incapable of producing melanin. It's this melanin that determines the color of our skin and hair. But this also doesn't explain why he didn't have a shadow. So friends, we may never know why this man didn't have a shadow. Maybe he really was just born without one. In any case, this is an amazing story that I'm sure you'll remember for a long time. That's all for today. See you soon. Bye.